Okay, this is my second time of doing the moderator role. So the people who are sitting down in the same session from the beginning, you may just be familiar with of the mind, but to the new people, I'm going to introduce myself briefly. My name is Chulho Lee. You can call me Chulho, and I'm taking the second moderator role in this session. So our session will cover more specifically about how does Rollup makes money, which is a very interesting topic. And however, before I'm just preparing for this session, I thought the Rollup is a simply technology-related issue, not the business-related issue. So that's why we invited real fantastic panelists of the expert. So please just introduce yourself, by the each. And so even just talking about what is your background, and then what is your company is, and then what kind of the specialty your company has. So I'm gonna give each of you just in 3 minutes.
Sure, we can get started. Hello everyone, my name is Kinsa. I'm from Sonic. I've been in crypto for about 7-8 years, going from venture capital, advisory, to even Web3 consulting for corporations, and now CMO at Sonic SVM. To give a brief intro of Sonic SVM, we are the first rollup on top of Solana. SVM rollup, Solana Virtual Machine rollup. We focus on creating attention capital markets. Happy to go into that further, but we also build out Hypergrid, which is the framework for launching SVM rollups on top of Solana, that we're helping other projects and builders launch their rollups. And finally, we do build a set of applications, consumer-facing applications that we've launched on platforms like TikTok to engage new type of users and bring them onto Web3.
Sandy.
Hi, I'm Sandy, co-founder and CEO of Scroll. We're a ZK rollup on Ethereum. Like our learned moderator said, we're the first to achieve stage 1. A part of what we do is kind of like a ZK Math Olympics. And another part of what we do is kind of like a business kind of juggernaut, juggling a lot of different things on how to make money, how to get attention, and how to make sure that we're continuously innovating at the frontier of tech and product. So prior to starting Scroll, I've worked as an investor and as a regulator. I was trained in the UK and kind of lived in various places. And I think throughout the journey, one common thread is that learning about how to use deep technology and products to kind of innovate and create something people can use has been something that's been a driving force of interest, essentially. So looking forward to share some of the things that we'll be bringing to market soon and the things that we're currently building.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for your fantastic introduction of yourself and your company. As everybody knows, for the last few years, Rollup has been at a center and then front in the blockchain scaling conversation. On the one hand, they're going to provide the fast, cheap, and scalable transaction. But on the other hand, they also be concerned about how sustainable their business model will be. So thanks to the organizer of the UDC 2025, they really just invited the two contrasting sides of the company. So Scroll is based on the JK Rollups, and the Sonic, the SVM, is based on the optimistic Rollups. So that's why based on that one, could you please introduce about what kind of the feature characteristics of the each of the rollup may have? Especially just sticking to your rollup related model, and secondly also just explain about why you choose about a specific rollup model for your business model. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I think within the Ethereum space, the wide consensus is that ZK rollup is the future. The main differentiation is in finality, and that basically has a play into the effectiveness of interoperability, which plays into an ultimate user experience. So how quickly can assets move between chains and cross chains in the future, and also about asset security. So when you're on off-ramping, finality becomes a pain point for most applications. Another thing that is that ZK is interesting that is currently being explored is that teams that build fundamental technology using ZK from the ground up is now also, such as ourselves, is also exploring other ways to apply ZK in application. So going forward, we're going to be introducing a lot of interesting financial products that's innovating in the financial product sense and also innovating in the ZK infrastructure sense.
Yeah, happy to share color from my end. I think you made a great explanation on ZK Tech itself. I think optimism, the differentiation is where there's a fraud-proof period where the transaction can be invalidated if given enough consensus. But I think for us, the decision-making really came from a business perspective. I'm building in the Solana virtual machine ecosystem where ZK research was pretty nascent, especially at the time where we're building out Sonic and Hypergrid around 2023. And we had team members who were more familiar with optimistic rollup infrastructure. And as a startup, we don't have 100 people engineering team or 10 people engineering team having to manage different types of tasks that needs to be completed, including building out and designing the infrastructure. So there's different priorities that we looked into. Of course, ZK Tech is ideal that we'd like to achieve at some point, but we also had to achieve go-to-market strategy, the speed of executing on our engineering work, and also just usability of our products. So given our expertise and state of Solana at the time, we chose optimistic rollup. That said, there's a reality and the ideal, and I think ideal eventually the entire crypto ecosystem should use the best technology, ZK technology out there, and we are working to achieve and head towards that ideal.
Okay, thank you. So now let us just get to the real meat of the puzzle, the revenue. So there are some of the revenue sources of your company. So one is potentially the transaction fee and the role of the MEV. So how fair it will be, and then usually what is your policy about that one? And then also the economics of the sequencer, and then what kind of the incentive structure to ensure your network is secure and stable, so and beneficial, of course. Right. So please just share about your opinion.
Sure. For us, I think MEVs really, there's few ways to generate revenue within a rollup. MEV, sequencer fees. What we're most excited about right now, or there's two ways we're exploring revenue. One is with Hypergrid framework. Any rollup, SVM rollup that launches using our framework, we do take a cut of the transaction fees. So 12.5% exact to be exact. Next one that we're launching is actually with Injective, who's also here. We're launching Injective SVM, that would be AI focused, and our business model is we help them build and launch together. It's a win-win scenario where if it's a successful SVM ecosystem, then we get part of the transaction fees, and that's part of our business model. But the second part that we're actively developing and upgrading right now is more on-chain, on a protocol level, with the transactions that are and revenue that are generated within our ecosystem, and it's called attention capital markets. We've been implementing new ways to measure attention that each app generates and reward the developers of the application with a specific amount of token emissions as well as transaction fees that have been generated and sharing that with the developers. I think what's important about revenue for infrastructure company is, we're a little different than stock exchange companies where we're trying to show as much revenue as possible, but we need to show how are we using that revenue and to continuously grow the ecosystem into to generate momentum and have more builders, users, etc. So we are leveraging this type of incentive structure on the chain level so that we're not only growing revenue, but using the revenue to grow the ecosystem.
Okay. Sandy? Yeah.
I've seen a lot of kind of financial analysts comparing FDV, so fully diluted valuation, to chain revenue, and say, oh, the ratio is so large. But teams like us actually work really, really hard to make transaction fee go to zero. So right now, our transaction fee has been gradually going down incrementally with every upgrade. We've had 6 or 7 upgrades since mainnet, and with each upgrade, we've been reducing the transaction fee by about 50% on average. So now, we are as cheap and almost maybe even cheaper than optimistic rollups, which was previously the only flaw of ZK rollups. So now the fee is on par, and with our next upgrade, we're going to start launching a zero fee, a zero gas product for our specific applications that are consumer facing, and that's going to be the next consumer unlock. So transaction fee is not a good measure of protocol success because it's a very different type of business. MEV fee, on the other hand, is slightly a more complex occasion. You see Base on one hand making huge amount of MEV fees in the hundreds of millions each year, but we're actually making innovation at a fundamental level to make MEV fees go away completely. So how do we, why is that a good thing for users? So in a future where there are going to be hundreds of millions of AI agents trading on chain, MVV it is already quite extractive towards human traders, and we want to create an environment where there is no incentive for MVV, and we want to flip the incentive metrics differently so that people can have a good experience bidding for popular ICOs and so on and so forth. And then, so the question is, how do you measure protocol success? If it's not MU fee, it's not transaction fee, we do still look at transaction counts. So for one of the key products that's really successful on Scroll, the EtherFi Cash Card, they've just hit 400,000 transaction counts. And that's real user, KYC user, swiping a credit card. And so that is a metric that we do care about. Does it generate protocol revenue? No, it doesn't. But what it means is that people bring their assets on chain, and there is the vault business, and then also we're pivoting our business to a way where we're also getting closer and closer to application level innovation so that we can be at the frontier of designing the blockchain to fit end user needs. So one initiative that's been quite fun, and at least I've thoroughly enjoyed working on it, is our Open Economy program. So we run huge online competitions for students and builders. And so the first one, we held a competition for 1,000, where 1,000 teams participated. And the second one, we co-hosted with Bolt and a vibe coding camp over the summer, where we broke the world record for the world's biggest vibe coding camp. And we invite the winners to live with us for a month in Malaysia, and we work on go-to-market and product polishing. And there's been some fantastic projects that's come out of that program. So we definitely want to be working with a lot of these projects to explore what's newly needed, and we're constantly discovering, when AI agents make certain transactions and when certain simple situations are created, how should we react to it, or how should the blockchain be thought about from a first principle basis to reorganize itself as more and more people are coming on chain and more value are coming on chain.
Okay, thank you for just all the detailed question about your business model, and then now we have to even just move on to the quite related issue about dedicated balance between profitability and the decentralization. So still a little bit just add up more regarding MEV and the sequencer related economics.
Sure. Yeah, profitability and decentralization, I think that's a very interesting question. Going back to what I said earlier regarding there's the ideal and the reality and the ideal, I think decentralization is on a spectrum, and we're always trying to achieve decentralization on all levels of the protocol, because that's, I think, what the core thesis and ideal of what we're building here is. But the prioritization has been, especially I think given the culture of Solana ecosystem and how they approach product, is usability first, usability, adoption, and then go towards develop on the decentralization side. So that's kind of especially as a fast-moving startup, that's kind of the way we've been approaching this specific topic. That said, right now, in terms of profitability with the apps, transaction fees that are generating, the partnerships that we have for launching new SVMs and getting transaction fees from those other SVMs launching are the primary transaction and profitability models that we're looking at. And I think decentralization, ZK Tech is something we're working directly with teams from Solana Foundation, Light Protocol, into developing more ZK-focused products, not only on Sonic, but on Solana, as well as increasing our validator sets on top of Sonic SVM and the new SVMs that are launching within our protocol.
Yes, Andy.
Sorry, could you repeat the question?
Oh,
again?
okay, sure. So it's going to be a related balance between the profitability and the decentralization.
Right, okay.
So actually, probably it's going to be related to MEV or just in a sequencer. So please just add some comment on top of what you just talked in the prior question.
So I think in the true kind of narrow definition of the Rollup, which we define Scroll is, decentralization is not necessarily an issue because funds are secured on Ethereum L1. And Ethereum L1 is largely believed to be sufficiently decentralized for fund security. And on an L2 level, yes, there is a centralized sequencer. Yes, there are certain single points of failure, but there aren't. So first of all, there aren't that many. And two, those sequencers are controlled by a security council, which is incredibly decentralized. So there's a 16-people security council across the world in different jurisdictions, and their identities are kept secret and independent, and that can manage the sequencer upgrade to ensure this fund security. And also, most importantly, there are kind of multi-prover designs and multi-sequencer designs that are coming out. I think in terms of multi-sequencer, that's not quite ready yet, but eventually that's something where the industry is building towards. Does it make a huge impact to where funds are allocated? I don't think so. Is it a nice gimmick that people like to think about intellectually, that, oh, you've reached a point where there is no technical single point of failure? I think it can be interesting, and it comes and goes in terms of what words or what things are hyped as a part of the blockchain stack. But hype can also move very quickly from one thing to another. And so in terms of centralization, I don't think it's an issue, particularly for the classic Ethereum rollups. And in terms of kind of revenue sources, we are looking to diversify away from sequencer revenue. Sequencer revenue is not a great source of revenue. Obviously, it prevents Sybil, so it does have its core function, but it's not great for user experience. And then so we're looking to innovate ourselves and build ourselves out of sequencer being the main revenue source.
Okay, thank you. Now, so we also have to talk about the evolving ecosystem, Rollup as a service. So could you please, again, for the most of the general audience, could you please explain, simply, what is the Rollup as a service, and then what kind of the related business you are working on, and then do you believe that it's gonna be another just next trend of the Rollup services, or you believe that it's gonna go to another direction?
So I think for the longest time, we've been the believer that Rollup as a service is it's a non-starter, mainly because we're open source. Anyone can use our tech stack if they wanted to, and we do share knowledge on a regular basis in various technical forums on how we build such and such things, and we run our org in a way that I believe is relatively transparent. So we didn't really believe there was a business that existed. So multiple blockchains have launched chains using our core design and made customizations on top of it, and have been, to various degrees of success. But more recently, we've been having a lot of inbound requests when it comes to blockchain as a service. I think the experience we've accumulated over the last 5 years of building Scroll, both in ZK application, consensus design, and also in governance and product design and different parts of the stack integration, there is perhaps value in all of that as a service. We don't like to think of ourselves as a service provider, and but we will be having our first stack partner announced soon, where there is a lot of really interesting consensus design innovation. So it's going to be a blockchain that is not exactly the same as Scroll. There's going to be some really interesting innovation where they can unlock another whole set of users and assets. And we've also been doing some blockchain design for financial institutions that have compliance needs, and we're also doing custom blockchain design for our current partners such as EtherFi Cash and some banks on like privacy, like disclosure-based privacy, where you can cater for your own taxation needs and like invoicing needs while being kind of protective of your personal information. So there's a lot of cool things that are coming up, and the reason we are doing blockchain as a service again is because we found that a lot of founders do have very unique insight and expertise in their niche business area or their user case, and we fit really well as a technology partner because of all the things we've experienced, and I think Scroll having been live for two and plus years with no downtime, no reorg, and just the highest level of partner integration and access kind of gives us the experience to be a really strong infra partner. So we kind of hope to be the Amazon equivalent in the blockchain as a service place, and we are starting with some custom design solutions that will hopefully gain some eyeballs soon.
Okay.
Oh.
Thank you. Durst?
Yeah, I think Rollup as a service is heating up again now. The L2 narrative has been weak past year or two because there's a big debate on whether it's extracting value from layer 1 or not. But I think now we're seeing that the technical use cases of it, especially in providing custom environments, whether it be specific domains, applications, or even corporate use cases. Of course, Upbit is launching their L2, so congrats to them on Ethereum. But I think we're going to see more and more corporations, just like Robinhood with Arbitrum and others, come on chain and build their own ecosystem with more control, more customization. So we want to make that happen for Solana as well. I think Solana is an amazing L1 blockchain, and that's their big focus, but we do think that extra customization that we can offer is very useful, and we do have the open source tech that we provide, as well as some guidance and support from our engineering team who has built up years of experience that can be beneficial for the new teams. I think in terms of new use cases, corporations, privacy, these are some of the main use cases that people have been wanting. Initially, we've built ours for fully on-chain gaming that needs tons of assets on-chain and create a lot of asset swaps, transaction volume at a almost infinite scale amount. That's why we created ours initially. But we're also seeing incentives and teams coming that are interested in just growing an ecosystem. I think if you have your own chain, you get to start experiment, grow different products. And given Solana is a land of meme coins, we actually have a lot of meme coin projects coming to us and telling us, hey, can we create a chain or our own meme coin chain using your tech stack? And of course, not only grow an ecosystem, but they add additional utility to their coin by, they can make it the SVM gas fees paid with the meme coin and have the meme coin be the base currency between all the dApps on top of the chain. So it's been we've been having some interesting conversations that we're excited to see how they turn out.
Okay. Okay, now, so let us just move on to the more individual question. I prepared the list of the individual question to each of the company. So I'm going to ask, first question to the Scroll. So you notice that right now, every people in Korea crazy about the stable coin. So stable coin is kind of the, emerging economy it became. What is the role of the Scroll on the stable coin, and then what is the plan of yours for the improvement of the what is the speed of the stable coin, or just any kind of the opinion or the effort you are putting on this in this regard?
Yeah. Thank you for that question. I think that we're seeing two different kind of use case for stablecoin. One is a store of value use case. One is a medium of transaction use case. And of the medium of transaction use case, it's incredibly competitive. There are more and more regulation coming in, and we can see a clear winner in the form of USDT and a lot of would-be competitors. In the store value use case, we're seeing a lot of innovation, a lot of kind of breakout acts of different varieties of yield-bearing stablecoins or synthetic dollars or what have you that are essentially packaging very complex financial products in the wrapper of a stablecoin, which makes user experience of access to financial services much more accessible. And so from a year ago, we started the Stable School and Stable Summit project to educate the public on the various risks that you're taking by participating in different kinds of yield-bearing stablecoins, and also to share credibly neutral data on transaction-oriented stablecoins. So long story short, as a chain builder, we're actually the fastest growing payment chain in the world. We've seen our payment transactions skyrocket, and in the retail payment use case, we've seen 40 mil spent in payment use cases across the whole chain stack, and that's just in the last 3 months, and we see no sign of that stopping. I think there is a lot of room for financial innovation for the highest kind of aggregated and hybrid omni-neo with like risk-adjusted yield to be brought to the end user. Right now, DeFi stack offers a lot of really rich yield sources. But to access them takes a lot of time, attention, and a lot of clicks in front of a computer, and a lot of price monitoring if you want to, so-called max juiced yield. And so we were working on a way that can bring to the end user with the highest aggregated yield possible without taking excessive risk, and it's delivered to you in your wallet, in your cash card product in the most user-friendly way. So we'll be announcing that stablecoin project in KBW, and it will also have a lot of cool, innovative ZK applied application into it. So stay tuned.
Thank you. So now the second question is given to the Sony SVM. So I can just find from your website, your company has tried to about the attention-based reward protocol. So what is that one for? And then could you please explain about any use case, and then whether it's going to be so successful or still promising? Okay.
Yeah. It's happy to share more. It's a new protocol upgrade that we've designed with NYU professor who's our advisor, Shi Chen. And our core thesis was, we want to create economies based around attention. Attention is something that we can commoditize, create markets around. I think prediction markets are a great example of this. We're creating a lot of different applications that come within this thesis, like hyper-casual trading exchanges, bringing in liquidity providers for various types of prediction markets and hyper-casual exchanges. But on a protocol level, to tokenize and measure attention, we are introducing new tool sets to provide to developers, but also measure attention and reward developers for bringing attention to the application. So some of the tool sets include oracles to measure and capture off-chain social media data and bring them on-chain, like clicks, views, etc. And for on-chain, we're measuring transaction volume, wallet count, the weight of the transactions, like how much of the assets are being translated and sent within the application to measure how much attention a DApp is accruing. But I think one unique thing that we're doing besides other rewards protocols is we're using Google's kind of PageRank system, where we're also ranking the value of attention by, because especially in the DApp ecosystem, it's a very composable ecosystem. DeFi apps are making calls to other DeFi apps, and we're measuring attention that an app has generated, also by how much they're transacting with other apps within the Sonic ecosystem. So this encourages composability using other protocols within our ecosystem inside your application to make a more cohesive ecosystem and promote that working together with other builders within the ecosystem. So yeah, we're excited for this protocol, and the core aspect of it is the more attention you generate, the more you get rewarded with protocol emissions, transaction costs that have been generated, and we bring it back to the builders, users, to create a cycle of ecosystem growth for all.
Okay. Time is already just over. However, I just wanted here. Please understand. I can only give the 10 seconds. Please just, if you have any words you wanted to give to the audience, please feel free to share about it. Even advertisement of your company or vision of your company is fine. Yeah, please just to talk to the audience.
Sure. We did a lot of infrastructure talk today, but I think the core important part is bringing on new builders. Korea is an important market. We have a lot of smart people here and a lot of builders here. We want to onboard you guys to Sonic. We do work closely with Solana Super Team Korea. Shout out to Scott, who's also here somewhere in the conference. But we want to onboard you guys, so feel free to come up, talk to us, and happy to onboard you guys onto Sonic and Solana ecosystem.
Yeah, Sandy.
I want to talk about our Korean country manager, Jane, has a book on stablecoin coming out that's in Korean. It covers a lot of interviews from the top builders and founders in the stablecoin space, and there might be a little something crypto gift as a part of the book purchase, so look out for that.
Okay. Okay, let us just finish our formal session here, and then if you have any question, please feel free to contact with our panelists. Okay, thank you for your coming, and then just hearing about all the discussion.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.